No, we weren't. We weren't live. We weren't live for the really depressing talk about hentai. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Unnamed Friday show. I would be introducing fucking Nick and Xavier, my supposed fucking co-host for this, but guess what? He's not here. Instead, Skullholder. He's been promoted. This is Soviet-style fucking Russian rules right now. I'm Stalin. He's the new fucking general because, I don't know, Nick got fucking sniped in Stalingrad or something.
Also, audience, if you haven't, you guys couldn't see this, but I'm just gonna maybe drop a little bit of a hint. You might be seeing a new series from Xavier with Matt in it.
Yeah, you might. Then again, Skull, we still haven't finished fucking Nico Par Volume 3, which is what started us on that porn conversation.
So, are you sure that are you sure Volume 3 hasn't been completed, mainly because it's you guys can't get to it, or you just don't want to get to it?
Or it's a bajillion fucking hours long, like my problem with it. Like, seriously, I subscribe to somebody who does light novel games because they're shit.
Yeah, I used to have a guy who did that. Sadly, he the Trump era kind of destroyed him.
And fucking, ugh, I hate it. It's like she's up to 17 fucking parts in this fucking game. And each fucking part, each video of hers is 45 fucking minutes long.
Is she doing a deep lore analysis in Nicopara?
I mean, she is going, like, if you haven't seen, like, me and Nick going through Nico Par Volume 2, like, we cheated. Like, I'm not gonna lie about that shit. Like, fuck Nico Par.
All I was missing was someone to
it got really
while you guys went to fucking light speed.
We got really fucking sad when the porn came in. Which is ironic, because that should be the best part of the game, but
it's the most
depressing.
No,
it just made everything. It really is. It really was the most depressing part of Nico Par, because it just solidified, like, oh, with the other light, with Volume 1 being uncensored, because we didn't play with Volume 1 being censored, we didn't play the uncensored version. All the creepiness was implied, you know. Whenever the cat girls were sleeping in bed next to the master, and we were like, there was probably a sex scene there. That was just speculation. Volume 2 completely just took it out of the realm of speculation, and it's like, no, you're having sex with slaves, Matt, basically.
Isn't this like an example of kind of like how horror can fuck up? Where the first with Volume 1, with the way you guys did it, pretty much it was implied and it was kind of obfuscated. Where Volume 2, it just kind of plops it right the fuck out.
Yeah. This is. I mean, to be fair, it depends on the kind of horror movie.
I'm talking about horror movies that have like low budgets, like The Thing, for example, where it's using like cinematography tricks and lighting to kind of like hide away some of the effects, because if you just saw the effects full blown,
but The Thing also wasn't stingy about showing the monster either. Occasionally.
Yeah, The Thing might be an incorrect example that I'm bringing up.
Probably the first Aliens until the last third of that movie.
Yeah, the first Alien
and then it just turns into Halloween for the last. Like, I like the first Alien movie, but like, it has a really weak third act.
Yeah, when she deals with Mutter and then goes to the fucking escape pod thing, that's when the movie kind of.
Really, the creepiest fucking shit in the third act is not really the alien. It's fucking her being stalked by fucking Ash.
Yeah, I can see that. But I love how we went from cat girls to aliens.
Well, to be fair, technically they might be aliens in the continuity of Nico
Par. That's weird.
Also, I went on a weird fucking Transformers hole last night, partially because I was seeing like fucking Transformer. I don't know if I said this in public, but I'm going to see fucking Transformers 5 in IMAX because I fucking hate myself. Because I was like, you know what? I didn't hate the Mummy enough. I really want to truly just despise not only the movie itself, but myself for fucking sitting through it.
Also, to quickly point out,
And
Daily
again, I don't
Show.
think anything will beat Batman versus Superman. That was special.
Daily
It
Show.
was like a love affair at a summer camp. You know, it was fleeting. It was beautiful. It was not meant to last, but god damn, I love you and your fucked up shitness, Batman versus Superman. Keep on shining, you crazy diamond.
So when it
Sorry,
comes to, it's all right. I don't see Daily Show usually do movie mentions at all when they're doing their political fucking jokes, but when they bring up the Mummy as a comparison to Trump, I think that really does signify how fucking just people found the Mummy to be that shit.
Oh, China fucking saved it because of course fucking China did.
Well, China will save anything.
To be fair, like it's not as random as a lot of people make it out to be with what movies succeed in China, what movies don't.
Well, do you know a good example of one that failed?
Well, it's like with Ghost in the Shell, right? Like that did terribly over here, and it did moderately better in Asia because like really like basically Asia in terms of like their movie taste and stuff, they're still like basically in the 90s. Star power still matters hugely.
Okay. So like Tom
Like
Cruise
star
and Johnny
power
Depp
or
aren't.
name recognition. So that's like star power is what saved the fucking Mummy, and name recognition is what saved World of Warcraft.
Okay, so what you're saying is in China, for example, Tom Cruise and Johnny Depp are like the poison that they're kind of not sure on Tom Cruise. I'm pretty sure not Johnny Depp nowadays isn't the poison of a fucking film. However, that might be
Be fair,
anecdotal.
even Pirates of the Caribbean flopped.
Even
Even
pirates.
Pirates of the Caribbean flopped in China. Yeah. To be fair though, I think that might be because like I think China only got like the Pirates movies like at starting at 4, which is when they started adding in like the Chinese pirates and stuff.
Wait, that's isn't that the third one? It's either the third or second one, actually. I think. Because there's Dead Man's Chest, which introduces a few different like variations of pirates along with Davy Jones. Then the third one at World's End, I believe, is where it's really introduced because the female character is supposed to be like their empress or something like that's like fated or
Yeah, I think
destined.
it's the third one because that's when they introduced like the pirate console.
Yeah, and then there's the fourth one, which is I think introduces Blackbeard, which, to be honest, kind of lack of a use of that Blackbeard, in my opinion. And then there's this fifth one, which I had known nothing about.
To be fair, all hail. I've blocked out a lot about the Transformer. I like honestly, gun to my head, I cannot tell you what the fucking names of Transformers 2 and 3 are. I really fucking can't. I know the subtitles. It's Revenge of the Fallen and Dark Side of the Moon. But I can't tell you if Dark of the Moon is number 2 or 3.
You want to know how I know Dark of the Moon is the third one? There's two reasons, actually.
How?
There are internet personalities I listen to, Sam Snob and Spoonie, back when Spoonie wasn't, well, what he is now. Who fucking
like I watch fucking Cinema Snob and them but I've watched their reviews of the Transformers movies. I've seen those fucking Transformers movies. I even think the second one isn't even on like near as bad as it got. Like fucking 4 is the fucking worst. But then again, I haven't seen 5 yet. I don't know what that fucking shit pit is fucking hiding.
To be honest, I think the
I'm
one
so pissed at fucking Nostalgia Critic too.
Oh, what?
That was a goddamn brilliant idea he came up with. Review the fucking movie before it came out. I was like, shit, I should have done that. Then I wouldn't have to fucking see fucking this.
Yeah, that was a pretty good idea. Also, when it comes to the films, I think the most offensive one I don't like, the one I just don't like and just I hate with a small little passion is probably the third one, actually, Dark of the Moon.
And you, and I was like, the main reason I've been watching this is because I was like, I was looking up stuff for us to watch on Sunday nights, and I was like, you know what might be a good thing to watch is Beast Wars.
Uh, Beast Wars was before my time. I don't think I got
Beast
to see
Wars, in my
Beast Wars.
opinion, is I know there's a lot of G1 Transformer fans out there, and bless your hearts. Like I understand, like you having an emotional attachment to Optimus Prime when he died and stuff, but as an adult with a critical eye, let's be honest here. The death of Optimus Prime was very poorly written and very poorly built to.
Mm,
Like a
Again,
character that important to die in the first 10 minutes with no buildup. Like if you don't know who the fuck Optimus Prime is and you watched the 86 Transformers movie, you're gonna be like, why is everybody crying that the fucking that the semi truck is dead? Like he showed up for 5 minutes and then died.
actually now thinking about it, from like making a
But like
movie of a show
Beast
series, that's actually
Wars
pretty
had Dinobot.
Matt. But killing
Like
off a main
Dinobot,
character like that.
like me in my teens, in like my early teens though, Skull, I'm not joking. Dinobot was like my second favorite fucking fictional character, right behind Piccolo from Dragon Ball Z, because it was basically the same stuff. Like he was this evil guy who went over to the other side because he hated the evil people even more, and he was like this guy with this strict warrior code. And then, spoiler alert for a fucking nearly 20-year-old fucking show at this point, Dinobot dies, and it's one of the fucking few deaths in the Transformers series that didn't get redid. Because that's the biggest problem with Optimus Prime. He came back.
Yeah, it does remove the actual emotional, I guess the
Yes,
emotions
Beast
of.
Wars is the one with Optimus Primal.
Hmm.
And,
Doesn't it also have? No, that's a completely different show
sorry.
series. I was about to say Beetleborgs. Like, no, that's a different.
There's a Japan. Beast Wars was so popular in Japan, it has a sequel anime series, which is really fucking like dark and has some really cool lore. That's the other thing too. Like, because I was going down this rabbit hole on like the Transformers wiki and reading all of this lore stuff and just remembering how they did it in the fucking movies and just being like, there's a lot of fucking cool stuff here, like in spite of itself. Because when you get down to it, Transformers is just like fucking, He-Man or fucking like a lot of the cartoons from the 80s where it's just like this is a 30-minute commercial.
Yeah, I can
But
see
like
that.
there's some really cool lore elements though in the Transformers universe, and there's a lot of interest in like questions raised, like especially with just the existence of the fucking Transformers themselves. Like that brings up a whole bunch of fucking philosophical questions, like what is the nature of fucking life?
Oh, speaking about philosophy, and I actually would like to probably talk to Big Lundy about this, but I
To be
actually.
fair, like Generation One did not delve into that shit. I'm not saying it did, but like there's a reason why this dumb show for fucking kids to sell toys to. Like, there's a reason why it's stuck in the hearts and minds of so many people over the years.
To be honest, did Thundercats ever come out with toys over here?
Thundercats had some toys, but they were really shit.
Yeah, because I'm trying to think of like a Saturday morning cartoon, which I think Thundercats qualifies as one of
Like
those.
the Thundercats, like the toys had decent sculpts and stuff. Like if you look at them, they look really good. But the big problem with the Thundercat toys is like they had like very little articulation even for the time.
Okay, so how much articulation are we talking? Like lack of? Are we talking like He-Man, where their legs don't move anymore? Like their legs don't move, or
Like you'd be lucky to get movable arms and legs. The Momra figure is literally just arms, like the arms and the head moves. The rest of it is just a solid hunk of plastic.
That's pretty sad.
To be fair, that's Momra. You know, he's. Then again, they did do like a second line of Thundercat figures, which that was when like the mutants were introduced as more of the antagonists of the series than Momra. And those ones were basically just He-Man ripoffs at that point.
I don't remember much of Mumbra from
You know
Thundercats,
what's
to be
funny,
honest.
Zin? The people who did Reboot also did Beast Wars. Beast Wars was their second show they ever did.
There's something I was gonna say to you, Matt. Matt.
Yes.
At work, going into the great courses, the little audiobook lecture courses things. So I'd look into the will of power, or I believe it's the will for power,
Yes.
and pretty much its introduction to Nietzsche. I think that's how you
Yeah.
pronounce his name.
Or Nietzsche. I think I've
Actually,
had this conversation with Lundy where it's like, if I could go back in time, I'd give him a hug and be like, man, your philosophy is going to get so misproperly used by like a lot of bad, shitty fucking people.
well, not just that, but I was actually like, I had a completely different opinion, not
Yeah, like
opinion,
a
but
lot
like
of people
an
do have
impersonation.
a different opinion of Nietzsche before they actually read what he says, and then it's like, oh, basically it's the opposite of what I thought.
Yeah, I was thinking he was kind of a nihilist, dark, pretty much humanity's kind of fucking unworthy of life type of like deal. And it's like, oh fuck, no, he actually is like completely kind of against that.
I mean, yeah, he does have like a huge undercurrent of existential nihilism because he is the one who wrote "God is dead" and we are the ones who killed him.
Yeah, yeah, but it's just the way he was talking about how
Plus, a
he.
lot of like the misconceptions come from like the revisions his cunt back fucking sister did after he died. Because spoiler alerts for his sister, she was a Nazi.
Yeah, matter of fact, like the first two chapters of that lecture, they went over. One pretty much they went over as a general overall of Nietzsche, and second was just
Because like
quashing
Nietzsche
rumors.
really didn't. If I remember right, he died before fascism really started like kicking off. But like,
19 teen something is when he died.
so yeah,
So I
he
don't
would have
think.
probably like he would have at least probably saw like Spanish fascism, and like he would have probably been like, this shit's garbage.
Well, apparently, from what the lecture was talking about, was that Nietzsche one hated his sister's brother-in-law, who
Yeah,
could be described as a proto-Nazi. Is the
yeah,
term they were
yeah.
using.
That's a really fair fucking term for him.
And also, and this is something the lectures brought up for claims of
I think he actually
Nietzsche.
did become a Nazi.
This was
I
brought up.
think both of them became not. If I remember right, she even gave like all of his. Like if I remember right, at one point she even signed over like the copyright to all of his stuff to like the Nazi university.
I wouldn't be surprised, but so the reason why they chose the name, the will to power, or the will for power, I think it's to power, was because they actually wanted to dive more into that particular book, because it's not really a book per se. It's kind of a collection of different Nietzsche's notes and pretty much
Yeah,
materials into one. It's kind of like an anthology, if you.
like
I think that's
it's
the
a lot
term.
like Karl Marx's stuff, where it's like it's more of just like here's some ideas
Oh, did you also hear how he fell, Matt?
out of grace.
No, no, like how
I think I
how he fell and pretty much
or just
and that's when it was starting to be discovered that he was mentally ill. They keep
I don't
referring to it as
remember that
ill.
part actually.
He was defending a horse from being beaten.
Oh yeah, I have heard that story.
Yeah, that they kind of went over it, and pretty much they didn't really say it was false. I'm assuming it's true. I just thought that was kind of hilarious that this guy who usually like the popular opinion, at least from everyone who never reads about him, I've that topic's been brought up and I saw it for until I fucking listened to the lecture that he was this dark fucking nihilistic fucking individual, and then you start
Yeah,
hearing about how his entire philosophy worked, and then you like hear like how he fucking fell,
like
which is like I was defending a
just
horse.
as just to give people who might have not have read the works of Nietzsche and don't understand like how different he actually is from the baseline public perception of him. Amendum, Amendum. I'm pretty sure most of the people in my audience know who that fuckwit is. Amendum absolutely despises Nietzsche. He thinks Nietzsche is the worst fucking philosopher ever.
What do you think Amanda might?
And I have a part, and partially I think it's because Nietzsche did actively reject antinatalism. Like in some, and I forget which of his works, but in some of them he actively cites like a lot of the stuff Schopenhauer said. And it was like this is just this is gonna get you nowhere.
Yeah, I was about to say, Schopenhauer, the pretty much Nietzsche's, I believe Nietzsche's mentor. I think that's the proper term for that. I don't know their actual
Kinda because
relationship.
like they were, if I remember, like Schopenhauer was like dead.
Yeah, so I don't know what their proper relationship was, but I do know
Like
that
I know
that
like
Schopenhauer is brought up in their
I know
conversation
Nietzsche
or
did like
in lectures.
I know Nietzsche started out like as kind of a Schopenhauer kind of person, but then he was like, no, like if you go down this fucking antinatalism road, you're just gonna fucking just sit in the muck and bitch all day and just be miserable and not affect the world in any way or shape, like for good or bad.
Also,
Like
Nietzsche.
that's like boiling it down to simple terms. Like that's basically like Nietzsche in a nutshell. Is like do.
Uh, why did my screens go off? Why did that turn off? You might be losing me, and it's oh nope, never mind. Screens just went to power saver mode. No, I just like again, like I said, I was starting to go into. I was
I
starting to
think
listen to his
Gary. I
lectures.
think what turned Amendum into Amendum is the death of his twin sister, coupled with expectations for how life should have gone, did not get meet, and instead of coping, he became resentful.
I guess I don't know enough about Mendham to actually have anywhere near the proper like an like idea of what how his life is.
I
All I know
mean,
is he lives in a
a
shitty
broken
shack that
clock's
Bruce
right
trapped him
twice
in.
a day. Like there is some like there are valid things Gary does occasionally bring up, but like a lot of the stuff he says is just the bitter, hate-filled rantings of an angry, bitter old man.
Oh, another thing that the lectures brought up in the second chapter with the quashing the myths of Nietzsche, was him being anti-woman. Apparently, that's a thing. I didn't even know that was like a thing.
Maybe
Well,
it's
the,
weird. It's weird with like 1 second, Casey. What's out? You keep talking though. I
okay.
can hear you.
Well, the examples that the book that the lecture brought up was apparently when it came, Nietzsche rejected the entire idea of feminism at the time, mainly due to the fact feminism pretty much wanted to kind of push women to be more like men within society. And Nietzsche disagreed with this mainly because he didn't really have a good view of German men at this time, and felt that pushing women to be more like men was actually kind of a detriment or kind of not correct because he always saw the men flawed, and he saw, and I don't know what his opinion of women were before feminism, but pushing them to be closer to the men pretty much was pushing them to be closer to flaw, I guess. So not exactly sure on that, but pretty much the lecture kind of just I don't want to say dismissed because that would seem like they didn't even consider it, but I'm probably forgetting some parts of it. But it was one of those odd things I was just not familiar with when it came to him. That and also they brought
Nick says he feels like such shit, so that's why he's not on.
up
I was like, "Where's Nick?"
also they brought up that he was a eugenicist. Apparently he did have some ideas for eugenics, which, to be fair,
Who
everyone,
didn't?
yeah, everyone did. That's
Like,
kind of
look, I like as shitty as like eugenics is and as supported as like, look, if we're gonna hate everybody who supported and liked eugenics from like the late 1800s to the early 1900s, that's pretty much everybody.
yeah, like within the time period of Nietzsche, I can't fault
Like
him.
H.G. Wells, like even H.G. Wells, like one of the most progressive fucking men of his era. Like, even he was a fucking eugenicist.
Fuck, if I remember correctly,
Nikola
Tesla.
Tesla.
Yeah, Tesla. Like
Tesla,
by the
the
30s was
internet's
still pushing.
favorite fucking overrated scientist. Nikola Tesla. He was a fucking staunch eugenicist.
Please don't get me started on Tesla. Please don't.
Which is funny because he's Serbian.
Oh, and if anyone's wondering about the
That's not
Tesla thing,
usually a group. That's not usually an ethnic group the eugenicists look highly on, you know?
yeah, but if anyone's wondering about the eugenics claim with Nikola Tesla, believe there's a Liberty magazine, and around I think
Oh,
it's around
crowd.
like
Crowd, you want on the show?
I think it's post 1930. I think it's like 1934. It was pretty much right after the Nazis got into power. I think I'll have to go look at it again, but it's a Liberty magazine article, and it's pretty much just Tesla kind of going on about how like one of his fucking new concepts could pretty much change the world. And then he has this huge spiel by 2100, eugenics will pretty much completely fix like societal issues, and it's fucking kind of hilarious.
Oh, he doesn't. I don't know.
So, but yeah, like I said, can't really fault him. The only person I find kind
I'm
of
gonna be
funny.
honest. I was not expecting we'd be talking about Nietzsche today. Like,
Well, the only reason why is because I just like I said, I picked up that those lectures and started listening to them, and like I said, completely
look, I'm
different
not
opinion.
complaining. I'm just saying, I'm like Trunks in DBZ Abridge Broly. Like, when I woke up this morning for a gay wedding, I was not expecting this.
But what else? There was something else I was going to bring up. That and also the lecture was starting to go into pretty much Nietzsche's, and to be fair, his entire time, like the German culture at the time was like really fantasize. I wouldn't say fetish, like idolizing, because I don't want to use the term like fetishizing, idolizing.
To be fair, all hail Charles Lindenberg was a like not just because of like the eugenics, but he was a general piece of shit. Really.
What really kills me though with the eugenics thing was that
Not saying the stuff that well, why did I even bring that? Like, I was about to be like, not saying the stuff that happened to his kid should have happened, and it's like nobody said that, Matt. Why are you bringing that up? All right, like, I admit it, Skull. I admit it. I killed the Lindbergh baby. I time traveled. Yes, and I really wanted to punch a baby.
But to be
I
fair,
really
Matt,
wanted to see how soft it would be to punch a just supple, soft baby flesh with their little bones that aren't even bones yet, but mostly cartilage. It was nice. It felt good on my man fist.
It's like punching Vale.
It is. Punch that little bitch out a window. I did.
But so what I was gonna say, when it comes to eugenics, maybe someone else would know. I don't know, but because they might have
You
gone
know what?
more
All
into
hell,
it
I
than
was
I
gonna
have.
say I was the Lindbergh baby, but then when I thought of it, it's like no, Simpsons did it. I gotta take a new angle. I killed the Lindbergh baby. Welcome, Sammy, on that. Like, you came in on a big relevation. I also admit to some of my other historical crimes.
Revelation.
DB Cooper.
Revelation. There you go. Revelation.
DB Cooper. I wasn't him, but I teleported onto the plane and
Look,
stole
everybody
his
knows you're the real
parachute.
son of Sam. Like you're the second son of Sam who helped David
No,
Berkowitz.
I was the dog. I
You
was
were the
at,
dog.
like, no, the idiot. Like, I was just behind a fence, like just saying random shit because I huffed a bag of 1970s paint. Because that's why I went back there. That's when they put the good fucking chemicals in fucking spray paint. The ones that will fucking make you see Valhalla.
Totes.
And then, I do some high babbling, and then all of a sudden, like, some fucking creep's like, I'm gonna go kill some fucking couples.
So, Matt.
It's the 44 Magnum. Oh, by the way, real quick before you go into anything else, have you been watching Glow, Matt?
I need to.
Watch it. It's actually really nice. It's good. It's a good show. It's a good show. You'll like it.
I kind of want to watch the documentary first, though.
Yeah, watch the documentary first. I did that about a month or two ago.
So, hey, Matt. And I guess it's more directed to the audience because maybe someone in the audience would know or not. The person that kind of surprises me wasn't on the eugenics bandwagon. Darwin. From what little I've like looked up into Descent of Man, I could not find any instances of him actually, supporting eugenics. Matter of fact, there's actually a decent sized quote where he kind of goes against a lot of the core tenets of kind of.
Well, I'm sorry, I'm back. Who? H.G. Wells?
No, Matt. What I was saying was the person who surprised me who didn't jump onto eugenics bandwagon was Darwin.
Oh, yeah.
Of all people.
Darwin, like, he hated the eugenicists.
Well, yeah, I mean, again, anyone in the audience who's actually read
Like,
Descent
he
to
thought,
Man.
because he rightfully saw it as, like, these assholes are taking my fucking work and twisting it to their own fucking shitty, racist fucking ends. Or their own prejudice fucking ends, as in the case with, like, the UK, because a lot, it's more about class over there than it is, just race over here.
Like good old America.
Yeah.
Actually, Nick, I mean, Matt, have we had any American philosophers?
I did go. Yeah, we've had a couple.
Because the only one that's coming to my brain
Thomas
right now,
Paine.
yeah, it was Thomas Paine, and I was like, I'm not sure if he's technically a philosopher or just a really good writer.
No, he is a philosopher, I'd say.
All right. Any in recent times?
I mean, I can't think of any. Like, there's probably like fuckers. Like, you know what? I'm on Wikipedia right now because I was like, I don't remember how to spell Nietzsche. Like, I need that for
trust
the
me.
tag.
You're not the only one. Also, apparently they would.
Philosopher.
Those lectures also started with a very interesting kind of this comment, which is apparently Nietzsche explained why he has a giant mustache, or he has a mustache, which is kind of hilarious.
Also, going back to the Nazi stuff too, like he was anti-nationalist.
Well, also
he hated that shit because he's like, look, like the only way we're gonna get better is if Also, to be fair too, he was a nihilist.
Well, in the lectures they were going over that apparently
that's the big thing, though. People have a broad misunderstanding of what nihilism is.
Also in lectures they went over how he was anti-democratic, though. But they just brought up. They said they would be covering it in a later section, which I haven't.
Oh yeah, Nietzsche he had some weird things.
Wait, are we not talking about the Nazis right now?
We were more talking about Nietzsche and how people
going back to the eugenics conversation.
Yes.
Okay.
Sammy had to double check on what weird topic we're on right now.
Look, I'm high. I'm gonna just jump around.
Oh shit! When aren't you high?
I don't know.
Do you wake up with a buzz? Do you wake up with like that nice like buzz?
I told Skull like I'm like a sentient pot cloud at this point, probably. All right, so here's some philosophers of the United States skull.
All right.
Tell me if any of these ring a bell.
Okay.
William James,
Nope.
John Dewey,
That Dewey actually sounds kind of familiar. No, I know nothing of him, so not really. That's the name.
Richard Rorty. He looks like a current guy. He died in he died in 2007 though.
No,
Charles Sanders Peirce.
that's kind of in the Dewey department. Name the Pierce sounds kind of familiar. So I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure a lecturer has phoned that name at me before, and it's just not really ringing a bell.
I'm gonna look for people like, oh yeah, Thomas Jefferson's technically a philosopher. Oh, Daniel Dennett, Noam Chomsky.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Noam Chomsky, you fucking who hasn't heard of him?
Cornel West.
Oh, I'm drawing a blank on Cornel West.
Oh, he's great. He's like this really angry black guy. Like I love him.
Oh fuck, no, Cornel. Okay, yeah, Mr. Afro. My bad. Sorry, it's just like
He would punch you for calling him that.
sorry.
Like legit, he'd fucking jack your jaw.
I'm just a simple white devil.
You are. So yeah, there's a lot more news going out about that. Putin had direct instructions to sway the election toward Trump. Like, he did
Yeah, of
indeed
course.
do it. Well, I mean, we all knew that, but now it's like, yeah, it's official. He really did fucking he did order for it to happen.
Oh, has anyone been noticing that? And the only reason I'm bringing this up
Ayn
is
Rand.
because
There you go.
fucking
Your favorite
really,
philosophy.
really. How's that a
Ayn
philosophy?
Look, if we're gonna have this argument, we need like Lundy or like an actual philosopher in here to have
Well,
this, like
no.
whether or not objectivism, because like there is a legitimate argument against objectivism being a philosophy.
To be fair, I know nothing of philosophy.
But
I
I am
literally
not-
just picked up fucking a
know
lecture.
some.
Like
Like, in
Lundy's the
recent
fucking
years, I've
philosophy
been-
major, obviously. You know, he would know.
Recent years, like there was like probably 5-6 years ago, I was like at a fork in like, you know what? I want to learn more about two things, but like knowing me, if I try to do both at the same time, I'm gonna fail. So I should pick one and incrementally learn more about it. It was the economy and philosophy, and I was like, you know, philosophy would probably be better. And then it's like, no, like I learned what a lot of college students learned.
Which is
Then again, knowing about philosophy has helped me out on YouTube, and I didn't pay a lot of money and went into student debt to learn what I learned. I just skimmed Wikipedia articles.
yeah, same. They did the
I'll
same
fucking
shit.
admit it. Like, fuck you. It's
be
free and I can read them
To be fair, I just assume everyone on the internet uses
and
fucking
watch
Wikipedia.
podcasts.
Like, here's the
and
thing
other
about
things.
Wikipedia too. I bet, like, when I was in high school, it got a lot of shit as, oh, well, it's not a reliable source because anybody can edit it. But in reality, it's actually a really good source of information because, like, especially today. Okay, here's the thing though. Celebrity fucking pages, yeah, you can get a lot of bullshit on it. But like actual like articles on like specific topics, like academia type topics, it's gonna be pretty on point. Plus, there's like, you know, the actual fucking sources at the bottom you can look up.
Yeah, like
Yeah, that's
trolling
And the
on
mods now,
Wikipedia.
and the people who own it, the mods do make sure that shit's on point. Like they double check everything.
It's very like there's only a few places like you can go to troll, really, because there's a lot of Wikipedia where it's like nobody who would ever go to this page would give like this is like a very underutilized page, or like nobody's gonna get any jokes that you throw on this page. Like, it's like Sammy said, like, yeah, celebrity pages, feminism,
Like, yeah.
Nazi.
Yeah, the only thing I was gonna bring up was that there's that I had 2 points, and Sammy did touch on one of them, which is anything that's volatile or anything, pretty much anything political, is I feel kind of pretty much useless on Wikipedia outside of the resources or what they're using, which can allow you to pretty much start your own research.
It can. I mean, it depends. Like they're on point when it comes to a lot of that stuff. Like they make sure like if somebody does edit it and put some bullshit on there, like it's not there for too long.
Jim, let's say I'm gonna answer something. Jim, I'd say depending on the version of nihilism, it could be either one of those three. Like
But
each of those can describe valid forms of nihilism. Like there are a lot of nihilism. Like that's the mainline perception of nihilism is the give up fuckers. The fuckers who are like nothing matters, so morality doesn't matter. Fuck it.
But Sammy, the other thing I was going to bring up, which is the niche the niche topics when it comes to academia or history or whatever within Wikipedia, is also pretty subject to pretty much opinion of the fucking moderators at that point, because there's so little sources that are usually used in those articles.
Sure.
Like fucking.
Also, too, Jim brought up a good point about Darwin with the eugenicist. Darwin probably also was very much aware of the limited knowledge that they had of evolution at the time, and it's like, look, we don't have enough knowledge for this to even be seen as a basis for eugenicism.
I think actually in the fucking first book, oh fuck, I'm completely brain farting on the name of fucking Charles Darwin's fucking award-winning book. The only part that's coming up is the second part of the title, which is the
origin of species.
Thank you. Origin of species and the preservation of favored races. I think he actually kind of goes over fucking that in that book, which is pretty much he doesn't actually have like the physical mechanism to why this is.
Also, if I remember too, he talks about how humans are if his observations on evolution are true. This is him talking. Humans would be kind of outside of natural selection at this point.
But Sammy, to go back to the actual video, have you ever looked at any of the editor? I think they're called editor logs. Pretty much of just different fucking people who've contributed to an article just bitching at each other about fucking certain features of say, like a tank.
Yeah.
It gets so fucking monotonous and annoying. Because
you can tell one's
obviously pro Germany's awesome at forever OP, and the other one's I don't know about that. I don't know if it could.
We also wouldn't have a lot of comic book artists and writers, Jim, if we didn't have Ayn Rand. As shitty as Ayn Rand is, it inspired a lot of great art. So, I hate saying that, but at least one good thing came out of that.
Even though he's not an artist,
bitch's legacy.
Yeah,
even though she would hate most of the artists that fucking liked her work, like comic book artists, the people who made BioShock.
But to go back to Ayn Rand, and this, I should probably walk back my statement when it comes to questioning her being a philosopher.
No, never.
I'm just
never. Don't give that bitch any fucking goddamn leeway.
I'm just gonna give a caveat. Just a small caveat.
He's the greatest fucking proof of how evil the fucking Soviet Union was. It inadvertently created fucking her. If it wasn't for the fucking Soviet crackdowns and what they did to her fucking shitbag father, she wouldn't have fled to the United States and she wouldn't have been the awful fucking hateful cunt she was. Thank you, fucking Stalin, for Ayn Rand, you fucking asshole.
I was just gonna bring up that my run-ins with Ayn Rand is usually from people who follow her teachings, and the arguments don't usually tend to be that constructive. So I'm kind of going through that, I guess, that lens, not actually her works themselves. So.
Also, too, the only reason there's even a question about objectivism being a philosophy is because the smart people who came after her actually attempted to fucking fill in the holes in her fucking framework.
And also, I'm gonna instead of lens, we'll just use filter because lens makes me sound way too fucking much of a pretentious dipshit.
Then again, like I said, like Ayn Rand did inspire a lot of stuff I like pop culture wise. Just hate her.
Well, it's just her. It's just, it seems like her philosophy is pretty toxic, concerning everyone who kind of like I'm totally for this kind. I'm an Ayn Randian. Seems to
And
develop
it's
some
like
pretty nasty
you
ideas.
like you do know you'd be the low class, right? Like you'd be the fucking like janitor of this universe.
Yeah. So also, I know Rand gets brought up with ANCAPs and libertarians. I don't know if that's a good association or not.
Also, then again, with fucking going with objectivism, like somebody else would have come up with that fucking shit bag philosophy. It might have not been called objectivism, but
You know what's sad is that Lundy's gonna, if Lundy listens to your sayings, he's gonna listen to this and go, "Why wasn't I there?"
he's like he's doing a gay LARP or something.
Well, I know, but imagine like like a few days later, he listens, just like, "Ah,
He's
damn it!"
out in the woods with a bunch of old up dudes pretending to be wood nymphs. He didn't want us to talk about this, but I believe in being truthful with my audience. That's why he doesn't do YouTube videos anymore, folks. He's too busy off in the woods with his little gay wood nymphs touching each other's butts, oiling each other up.
So
Bitch
they're
about him on his Twitter, Big Lundy.
so is it so is he being like Tingle from Zelda, that's all over the woods?
Yeah, he dresses up as Tingle. Kalulele.
Oh, I was gonna bring this up because if anyone's wondering, I watch Majority Report with Sam Cedar. I don't necessarily follow everything that they say when it comes to like my political views, but I do feel they're pretty interesting to watch. And they had a recent debate slash argument with Tim Black, who's a YouTube, which is supposed to be a YouTube channel. And after that's happened, I've kind of noticed. I think there might be a weird like cottage industry of like alt. No, I don't want to use the term alt left because that's not right. Of individuals on the left who I guess are alternatives. So yeah, alt left. With the
I
entire
mean, look, there
separation,
is
the
kind
Hillary
of an
Clinton
alt
shit.
left.
Is it?
Like the thing, like since I'm on the left, like I'm more inclined to fucking throw shit on the fucking Republicans in my videos, but like I'm not blind to the fact that like the left has a lot of fucking problems we need to sort out in this fucking country.
Oh yes, and to be honest, I don't. The only reason I'm hesitating on using the term alt left is mainly because of drawing the insinuation, the comparison here. Because when you say alt left, you're gonna think alt right, and then like, okay, that version, but
Yeah, and to be fair, like there's a couple of different, like I would say, piles of dead wood that need to be cleared from the leftist side of the spectrum, or at least thinned out.
What's a good example? What's a good one? What's a good example?
Like the current leadership at the DNC, like they've seriously been losing since fucking 2010. Like, get the fuck out of there. If this was like if the political parties were like sports teams, they would have fired the fucking coaches for the Democrats like 8 years ago. That's how inept they've been.
Okay, so the entire
They lost the fucking majority, and not only that, like they are at a weaker position than they've been at since like 1929.
So that is interesting because so pretty much in the Tim Black argument or debate, whatever, he brought up that Nancy Pelosi should be pretty much just gotten rid of completely.
I don't know if Nancy Pelosi should go. Like, but I think a lot of the people in like the strategic roles, like the people who choose which districts get funding for congressional and Senate fights and stuff like that, those people need to go. Like the people on the strategy side, they definitely need to fucking go because they have failed spectacularly.
You mean like their horrible misreading of fucking pretty much America?
Yeah, and it's not even like it's not even like a misreading really when you look at fucking like it on like the macro or micro level or whatever level this is. When you look at like I always point at this, like whenever you look at ballot measures, like left-leaning ideas win. Like people routinely fucking knock down restrictions to abortion. They routinely vote for medical marijuana or marijuana legalization. They vote for fucking gay rights. Like they vote for fucking like minimum wage increases. Like they vote for all of these progressive leftist socialist fucking whatever the fuck you want to call them ideas. The problem is not that these ideas are not clicking with the American people. It's the problem with the fucking party. Like, they're the fucking problem.
Yeah, the Democratic Party is a horrible representative of these ideas.
Because a lot of time they don't even fucking represent them.
Oh yeah, and there's always been this conspiracy theory that's kind of floating about. Not exactly, and to be honest, I don't know. That how horrifically inept the Democratic Party is in being able to achieve any of its goals or
So,
being able to
all
do
these like
anything.
leftist ideas I've just mentioned, none of them are fucking Democratic platform ideas.
You mean how like Obamacare is kind of a modified
like gay rights was like gay marriage was never a thing that the Democrats were like, we 100% support this. This is going to be on the party platform. No, it wasn't until it was like overwhelmingly obvious that this was going to go to the Supreme Court and it was going to be fucking goddamn laid down by the highest court in the land that, yeah, gay people should be allowed to fucking marry. That's when the Democrats en masse were like, oh yeah, we've always wanted equal fucking marriage, even though there's a lot of interviews of us fucking talking about how, it's just not, I believe in equality, but, marriage is marriage.
So what you're telling me the Democratic Party might come off as opportunistic when it pretty much
they really fucking are. Like the I know it's really fucking popular to bash the neoliberal wing of the Democratic Party, but a lot of the fucking
not at all.
A lot of the fucking problems is the death grip that the neoliberal wing has on the fucking controls of the DNC.
Oh yeah,
and it's like, look, jerk offs, you're just like any other political movement. You had your fucking time. You had your 20 fucking years in the sun. Step the fuck aside. Step the fuck aside.
I'm still worried that Hillary's actually might be considering for running in 2020. And that's not because, I'm one of those like never Hillary type of individuals or anything. It's more just like the fucking amount of irrational fucking hatred aimed at that woman.
Well, here's the thing. Like, I didn't think this was possible, but like, I should have known it. Hillary is more like she's more hated than Obama was.
Yeah, I guess I can kind of see that. Usually she was second in a row when it came right next to George.
I will say this: I still voted for her. I was a late to the party Bernie guy. Mainly, I got on the Bernie bandwagon when I realized like probably not even 3 months to be completely. It was probably more like 2 fucking months when I realized like, oh, the Democratic primary is just set up so Hillary can fucking sweep it.
So to
like Bernie Sanders is the only actual real fucking challenger. Like I can't even fucking honestly tell you the other 3 fucking people who ran on the Democratic side this election. I think O'Malley. Is it Mallory?
Mallory, Edward something I think also ran. I
don't
think
Edward.
Survived long.
Edwards didn't ran because he got ruined like 6 years ago with that huge scandal.
The huge scandal, but he didn't even try.
No, which is weird because like Newt Gingrich did the same shit, but that never ruined him.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm confused. 'Cause I thought he would try anyway. I guess I've been paying too much attention to Republicans. But anyway, just to quickly point out, and I'll be completely honest in this, I almost never pay attention to the Democratic fucking bullshit because, to be honest, I get more depressed and I don't really care.
They really are, Jimson. Like, the parties are basically the same fucking thing because it used to not matter as much because we were a much more centrist country way back when. So like, yeah, it doesn't matter if both of the parties are basically like really like bland and not really to one of the political extremes. Like there are some things like that, do show like, oh, this is a right of center party, this is a left of center party. But then like starting in like the 50s and stuff, we went to like a center right country and we were there for the longest time. And now we're kind of starting to trick back over to the center. And like the political, like our political system is not set up well to deal with 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 political parties. Like people don't know this that much, but like the founding fathers did not like the idea of political parties.
To be fair, how would you go about doing it without political parties?
To be fair, that's why we have political parties, Skull, to answer that question.
Well, I'm just kind of going because, to be honest, that's pretty fundamentally a fuck up. Like, to be fair to the founding fathers, I don't know how the political landscape.
I mean, the main reason they didn't want political parties is they saw like how it was with the fucking like the parties in the UK Parliament and how it became more about like the interests of the party over the interests of the country. Isn't that fucking weird?
Yeah.
Then again, the founding fathers were against a lot of fucking things that like we got now, like corporations. Like, you know who made it legal for companies to incorporate? Donald Trump's favorite president, the man who could have stopped the Civil War if he wasn't fucking rotting in the ground, Andrew Jackson.
Damn it, you didn't give me a chance to throw my least favorite founding father under the bus, Jefferson.
I kind of want to like find a different founding father to hate because it's like he's the popular one. I want to be more hipster. It's like, oh, you hate Thomas Jefferson. I hate Stu I hate Stu Slave Beater.
Like the guy who was in the room who never signed it.
Yeah.
Like he's pseudo founding father.
Yeah, he had he saw a slave outside whistling, not at a white woman, just whistling because for one brief moment they were happy, and he was like, "I can't have any of this."
So it's funny with me being with high school with my pretty much the classes that were on politics, like the citizenship class and stuff like that. They never explained the Southern strategy at all.
I don't know too much about John Hancock, but from what I remember, he's not a colossal piece of shit.
I remember him being kind of like show offish and like dickish with his entire.
Yeah, he's kind of a douchebag, but like Paul Revere, maybe he was a liar.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Like the only reason that they let like basically nobody refuted his fucking story is because they were like, you know what, your story got popular and we kind of need it as propaganda for the country. You're lucky, you fuck.
Oh, also to quickly point out, because I was going into this.
Also, you know why Paul Revere's account of the story was more popular than the guy who actually did most of the work, whose name I can't even remember, which is, I feel bad for him. I should know his name because he's the actual hero of that story, not Paul Revere. But Paul Revere owned a printing shop.
I'm going to outprint you, sir.
He actually did, like, if you remember back to history books, you remember, like, the printings of, like, the Boston Massacre and
Yeah, and how that was kind of actually very
stuff like
important.
that. Like, that was him. He did that printing.
Oh, okay, that's actually kind of interesting.
Because he was from Boston, and that's where his printing shop was from. But that's why his account got so popular, because the other guy, he didn't own a printing shop. I think the other guy was just like a random soldier. So, like, he didn't have basically, like, I bet you John Hancock went home immediately and just started being like, we gotta do this shit so I look like, I bet you that motherfucker had those prints ready.
So wait, Matt, are you telling me that a rich fuck who had capital pretty much fucked over pretty much a working Joe in pre-America?
Hey, Nish Brown.
No, yep, that went out the window.
Oh no, sorry. Like Nish Brown said, it's like, yeah, print was the media. So, John Hancock kind of had like a thing over that guy.
No, Matt, what I was saying is that wait, you're telling me that a rich white fuck who had capital fucked over an average working Joe in America?
Yes.
No.
Right from the fucking start. Again, though, like fucking, you needed own land to vote originally.
This might be coming from a horrific misunderstanding of this person because I haven't done much reading on him. But that sounds like something like Benjamin Franklin would kind of like step in. It's like, okay, this is kind of unfair.
Probably. I bet you Benjamin Franklin was the guy who was like, this isn't cool. They're like, settle down, Ben. It's like, no, this is fucked up. I'll kick your ass, Paul Revere.
I love how you're making Benjamin sound like he's like the proto Bernie of fucking.
He probably was. He was fucking bitches left and right, fucking like flying kites during thunderstorms. He invented the potbelly stove. Did you know that?
I'm pretty sure there are other designs that were similar to it. He probably just invented the variant that we use.
No, he invented the variant of the potbelly stove.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure there's other stoves that were very similar to potbelly stoves that we don't use, but we use the one that Benjamin Franklin came up with.
No, there were like other stoves, but there weren't potbelly stoves.
Oh, all right. Sorry, when anyone makes a general statement about fucking, oh, this person invented this, I usually just err on fucking, I'm just gonna disbelieve it until I actually go look it up.
I mean, to be fair, the electricity shit is mostly bullshit, because...
Oh no, like it was with the entire
It's like
Tesla,
like the
he invented
electricity
alternating
stuff.
current.
The electricity stuff is one of those things where it's kind of like the world is flat. Like people believing the world was flat in Columbus's day. It's like, no, like people as far back as ancient Greece knew the fucking world was round.
Well,
like the only time like flat Earth shit really was big was like during the Dark Ages when people had to eat their own fucking children or die of the plague.
So, people in the audience, I'm going to probably use the incorrect term because I can't remember the exact shape of our planet. I know it's not technically a sphere. I think it's a planetoid or something. It's a shape that's very similar to a spear, but it has notably flattened up.
Oh my god, Jim! I could totally see Benjamin Franklin hanging out in the Hellfire Club.
But
surrounded by some buxom British bitches in corsets.
But Matt,
Yeah.
I think you and me have read the same things. Are you sure that the ancient Greeks actually thought that the Earth was round in the sense of it actually had a curve?
Well, I think the ancient Egyptians, like, they thought it was flat, but they thought it was flat more because of like weird religious reasons. Also, from what I remember, the ancient Egyptians didn't really like, they weren't explorers from what I remember.
Ancient Egyptians, from my understanding, no, they hated the desert, and they
really understand. They expanded, like, they had a lot of conflicts with like Nubia and stuff, but like They weren't like, hey, let's go sail the seas and look for islands and shit.
Going back to the Great
Like the Greeks or the Assyrians or the Hittites.
Yeah, going back to the Great Forces again. Pretty much from how they painted it was that they hated.
Oh shit, Sarahan's here. We got a bigwig.
Who?
Sarahan 06. Oh yeah, you're a newbie. You're a new fag.
Wait, am I technically a summer fag, fall fag, winter fag?
I don't know. You bring up weird like subdivisions. I'm too high for this, Skull.
well, to be honest, you're misclassing me, sir.
But yeah, basically, going back to the whole premise, like our political system's fucked because a lot of the shit we have in it was never designed for that shit. It was never designed for fucking political parties. Like, if it was designed for political parties, we would have had a more parliamentary system like the UK or fucking Canada eventually had, or fucking literally everywhere else, because we're the only ones who use this asinine two-party fucking system.
Yeah, and so, hey Matt, quick question.
Yes.
Do you think it would be inappropriate for me to get fucking horrifically drunk to the point where I'm just a fucking wreck of a person when Mitch McConnell dies?
Maybe.
Think that might be
inappropriate? I mean, he is pretty shit.
Because to be honest, like I know Paul Ryan ends up getting a lot of people's ire for to be honest, some very understandable reasons, but
I kind of can't hate Mitch McConnell. He looks like a turtle without its shell.
Oh fuck!
So I kind of want to protect him on some level. Like it looks like I need to fend off like a blue jay with a stick whenever he's around. Like, shoo, Blue Jay, leave Mitch McConnell alone. He doesn't have his shell anymore because of that lawnmower accident.
Yeah, but like, how much of a douche he's been for pretty much most of his political life.
He's a fucking piece of shit. I should let the Blue Jay eat him. I don't know why. Like, maybe it's because like my grandpas were the only positive male role models in my life, so I give old people a pass. I'm like, look, he's old. He's gonna die soon. Let him be an awful person.
Yeah, but his awful personness is fucking possibly gonna remove like 23 million like people from healthcare.
Oh, it's probably not. Like, let's be honest. Like the revolt in the Senate's already fucking started, and I'm pretty sure like the Senate bill is not heartless enough, I'd say, for the House Freedom Caucus. Those assholes. So it probably won't pass the House because the House Freedom Caucus is like, this isn't the awful bill we wrote.
To be fair, like, yes, the version that's in the Senate right now might not be able to pass, and I don't exactly know how bring it.
Well, that was the idea, Jim, with like the ultimate settlement of the two-party system. Is they figured like, oh, when one of the parties becomes like either too corrupt or too inefficient to fucking properly run, it'll die. And that did happen. It happened with the fucking Whig Party. Like, they died and they got replaced by the Republicans. And then technically the Democratic Republicans died and they got replaced by the Democrats.
Yeah, that entire system didn't really seem to work once, you know. You can.
But like it really failed in the fucking 60s when the Civil Rights Bill passed, and instead, like, the Dixiecrats just jumped fucking ship over to the fucking Democrats. I mean, not Democrats. They jumped ship over to the fucking Republicans, and then the more liberal, moderate Republicans jumped ship over to the fucking Democrats, and that's just how it's been ever since. It's like there's zombie parties at this fucking point. They should, like, one of these two parties should fucking goddamn die and let another fucking party take its fucking place. Preferably, I hope it's the GOP and the Libertarian Party. Like, I honestly, like, Because, if you've watched me for long enough, I kind of want to be a centrist. Like, I am fairly left of center, but at the same time, I do believe in compromise. I do believe in everybody getting a little bit of what they want.
But Matt, why are you assuming libertarians are, right? Why are you assuming that?
Because let's be honest, that would be the logical conclude. That would be the logical party to take over after the Republicans die.
Maybe they're just wanting freedom. Maybe they just want to be
and
away
like
from
and also
current-
like there's really, and it's like Geo brings up, like there's no real left-wing party. I mean, there are some real left-wing parties in the UK, in the US, but like they're
So
super
fucking
fucking small and
Yeah.
marginalized. Like, I mean, I guess technically we have the fucking Greens, but like the Greens are fucking more incompetent than the fucking Democrats. I know people who vote for the fucking Green Party. They are lovely people and they truly care about issues, but I'm like, why do you do this? Like, the Libertarian Party is better organized, and you see how their fucking political conventions go? They let Vermin Supreme fucking talk at them.
Yeah, to be honest, any consideration I had for the Green Party and actually viewing them as like, I might actually support this party kind of died.
Like,
after
America does have a
Still
communist
fine.
party. Like, it managed to actually somehow survive the fucking. Then again, the fucking Nazi party survived up until like 1965 in this country, until George Rockwell Lincoln got shot in the fucking face. Think about that, folks. Like, the Nazi party, literally, like, they didn't even change their name or anything. They were still the American Nazi Party. Made it up to 1965. That's one of those assassinations of the 1960s they don't talk about, Probably because, people are like, nah, fuck them.
So, question to the audience, because I'm actually kind of curious.
Kind of, Jim. Like, Jill Stein has flip-flopped on the whole anti-vax shit. Like, she was staunchly anti-vax, and then she wasn't, and now she's kind of somewhere in the middle. She's like, I'm not against vaccines, but we need more testing. And it's like, do you know how fucking much testing vaccines go through?
Well, to be honest, she kind of felt like, from what little I watched of her, she felt like she was trying to appeal to the conspiracy tards on the left, to be honest.
Yeah, she kind of was. Like,
because I think that's another thing that a lot of left people that I talk to don't.
I'll be honest,
like
I would have preferred John McAfee as fucking president. Like, you know what? I don't. Skull, did you see Donald Trump saying he doesn't want to, he wouldn't want a poor person in charge of the economy?
Yep.
And it's like, you know what? I'd rather have a poor person in charge of the economy than somebody who's had 7 bankruptcies. Like, that's why I'd like John McAfee as president business over fucking Donald Trump. Like, John McAfee at least never had a fucking, like, the worst, like, I mean, yeah, John McAfee has legitimately fucking murdered people. Like, that's fucking weird. But then again, there's a couple of American presidents who have murdered people. That's nothing new.
So, you know who I wouldn't want to run our economy? Pretty much a privileged trust fund baby who pretty much has done really nothing in his life, and his daddy's money pretty much got him through a lot of shit. And before you think I'm describing Trump, I'm more talking about the person that Trump will most likely dump the responsibility off on, which is Kushner.
Maybe, I don't know. Like, so, like, I just hate, like, where we are. Like, even the UK's in a fucking better spot than we are.
Oh yeah, because like even with that impeachment, everyone thinks it's going to happen. That most likely won't.
I mean, it might not. Like, who the fuck knows? Trump might win in 2020. Like, nobody thought he was going to win fucking in 2016.
Mm-hmm.
It's just really fucking depressing with this shit where it's like, why can't the Democrats just get their fucking heads out of their asses with this shit? Like neoliberals get fucking, you had your time. You had your time at the controls. Like you've
Matt?
literally put the Democrats in the worst fucking position they've been in almost 100 fucking years. Like,
So,
leave.
Matt.
Like, well, I'm not saying leave. Like, you guys can still stay in the party, but like maybe let some other fucking people have their time at the fucking controls.
So, Matt, have I ever told you about like that weird conspiracy theory that
Yeah, I'll be honest with. I'm like with Serhan at this point. I'm more doubtful about impeachment at this point.
Yeah, I never really gave my hopes up, to be honest.
I mean, I have a feeling like Jeff Sessions might end up going down still because he did not do himself any favors.
I don't think
and
a single one of them will go down personally.
well, here's my thing, right? Donald Trump is the kind of person who will fucking like send somebody up the fucking creek without a paddle.
Yes. I do not doubt that.
There's already been like some shaky shit with Donald Trump and Sessions, so I'm like, if Donald Trump is willing to let anybody become the fall guy for this Russia shit, it's Jeff Sessions.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, is I more think it's going to be a thing of pretty much Jeff Sessions. I think it's more likely that Jeff Sessions will get fired by Trump before he actually goes down for something. To be honest.
Plus, also, too, like
that special
as much as I
investigation.
hate saying it, like there's really not much. There's really not much you could really impeach him on.
Oh yeah, and that's my problem with the special investigation is that yes, say the special investigation does actually discover something. What's that gonna bring up? Like what autonomy does the fucking special investigation have when it comes to once it's done with investigation? Who's gonna do the prosecution? Who's gonna actually push these charges against Trump? Because I know it's not gonna be the fucking Republicans.
Also, Jim brought up something I always like bringing up. Like Trump failed at casinos. Casinos are legalized theft.
And also, the air problem I have with this entire
Trump can't even steal money from people without fucking it up. Like that's the only reason I'm not fully like he might not get impeached, but I am like, you know what, the odds are probably a lot lower now. They're probably at like 5%.
And also
maybe 10% if I'm being generous.
Also, to quickly point out to people who might be going, well, to be honest, like, yeah, once a special investigation does get done and the Republicans don't pursue something, then they'll suffer in 2018. Where's the evidence of that? All we got
I mean, there is some evidence that they'll suffer,
and I can pull the Trump. I can pull the Trump card here. And
here's the thing:
work.
The Republicans aren't really. The Republicans aren't really going to suffer for the Russia shit.
Okay.
The Republicans are going to suffer because of the healthcare stuff. Because again, like I've talked about, that as flawed as Obamacare was, it is so much better than any of the fucking plans that the Republicans have ever fucking put forth on this issue.
Well, yes, that's not what's being questioned. What's being questioned is
like
the Republican voter
the biggest fucking thing. Like, look at the Senate Republican. Like, look at the Senate healthcare bill. Like, the biggest thing in it isn't even about healthcare. It's a fucking tax cut to the fucking rich.
Yeah, it's like as Warren put it, it's fucking blood money. I believe that quote's attributed to her. And also to anyone who
like, why is that even fucking a part of a healthcare bill?
Also, to anyone who might be thinking like, oh, I question the legitimacy of polls. I don't. I think polls actually do have a use and do have a point.
Polls, like, you gotta take polls with a grain of salt, but like,
no, I do think there is.
The thing with like polls really is like, you gotta look more. But then again, metadata can be wrong. Look at what happened to 38. Like, what's Nate Silver's website? Like, they didn't predict fucking Trump winning because of the metadata, and then like the fucking election happened and egg on Nate Silver's face.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna quickly point out, I don't think that polls are just don't work or they don't exist. What I'm saying is that that's something that the average dipshit can pull up is like, well, Trump won, and everyone in all the polls said he wouldn't. And to be honest, I don't know of a really good argument against that outside of they worked for everything else. So I don't know if there's something wrong how we
Like
calculate our model
the bigger
polls.
indication of like why the Republicans are potentially, and again, I don't want to set anything in stone because fucking President goddamn fucking Trump. But the reason the Republicans potentially could take a whooping in fucking 2018 is because of how fucking pissed their constituency has gotten over the healthcare stuff. Like there is video after video after video of fucking people just fucking at town halls screaming at their fucking representatives and senators.
Yeah, but to be honest, when the American Health Care Act comes out and you fucking pretty much douse that over with some Fox News fucking propaganda, how much of those people are gonna buy like, oh, they're replacing it with something that's all right?
Fox News has actually been going down in the ratings for the longest time now.
Okay, well, I was using Fox News as just an overall example of propaganda being used.
It'd be more like internet Breitbart shit would be a better example because that's bigger now.
Which is sad if you think about it.
Yeah, Nish Brown brings up like the biggest problem ultimately with America. We're too numb to care about anything really. We're too numb to care about gun violence. We're too numb to care about the race fucking shit. We're too numb to care about the fucking healthcare shit.
Like right now,
Too numb to care about fucking anything.
right now the audience, like, I hate using this because it's anecdotal, but I work at a Walmart, so I don't work with I pretty much work I think with some lower tier individuals within our society, and my workers right now in the current room are more bullshitting about widget spinners than anything political. So like politics have completely left them. And like I said,
Yeah, like
anecdotal.
my fucking aunt was like all about fucking Trump before the election, but now that he's fucking like elected, it fucking up constantly. Like she doesn't talk about it at all.
So it's aggravating.
A lot of it is like there's like a huge amount of fucking cynicism in this country. Like just like, oh, it's not cool to fucking care about stuff and wanting to fix problems. Like the cool thing to do is just not give a shit. Like that's the right answer. Like radical freedom, the third option. Like don't do anything and just bitch and complain. And I'll admit, like, I was that way for the longest time. Like, hell, like, even up until recently, like, I'll admit there's a lot more shit I could have done last election.
I wasn't politically aware enough at that time.
Like, there's a lot of shit I'm going to be doing next fucking, like, in 2018 and in 2020 that I did not do in 2016. Because I'm like, you know what? I have fucking loads of spare time. I could go out knocking on fucking doors, talking to people. I'm fairly fucking personable.
So you know what the funny part is? I love how this entire conversation is going with the one guy who did vote Trump in our group.
Yeah, but you did it because you live in a fucking blue ass fucking state, and you did it to piss off the person who was annoying you into voting.
If anyone's wondering, because again, Matt bringing up the fact that I'm a Trump voter, apparently, yeah. So
Yeah,
I was going
because
to
we're breaking kayfabe here, but I hate Skullholder because of Nico Parra. So
the
again, we're
reason
breaking kayfabe.
the reason why that happened was mainly because I go to a community college. I'm studying to get a bioscience technology degree, associates. And I was in the library, and this is around election time, and this individual would not leave me the fuck alone. He was trying to like get out the vote and all this, and he would not leave me alone. Like I was trying to do my homework, trying to get everything done, and he bugged me at least without hyperbole 4 times. And I said, "Fuck it," and I went, "Okay, I'll vote." And yeah, give me the paperwork, and I was like, "Okay, who are you gonna vote for?" And I went Trump. And all of a sudden, magically, he was all of a sudden not interested in like oh, um, I can kind of get a sense of your political feeling. So pretty much fill out the paperwork and boom, casted a vote for Trump just to fucking get him out of my hair and watch him get annoyed with me. And then egg on my face when election night comes around, he gets elected. I think I now know. I think I now know how the fucking those Britain how the
You know what?
fucking
I want to bring up something like because Gio's bringing it up about like the left in the UK. I will give that like there is a lot of the same problems in the Labour Party, but Corbyn is in the leadership position. Like he probably got there way too late in terms of like because he is fairly older. And the politicians in the UK tend to have a longer shelf life than the politicians here in the States. But also, like I've said this before, like I truly believe, like Brexit stuff aside, like I do think voters in the UK are on average more informed and smarter about political issues and knowing stuff, and they tend to make better decisions with their votes than like because it's a running joke with a lot of Republican voters. Like they vote against their own best interests. Like a lot of them are people who are on Medicaid. A lot of them are people who are on food welfare.
well,
Like
yeah, but
they're the fuckers who are going to be hurt by Republican policies.
yeah, but to be honest, those Republicans don't. Those Republicans, the only people who don't see that joke is Republicans. Because when they think welfare and Medicaid and all that, they're thinking of this horrific fucking like myth that's been made that there's the welfare queen
They're
who's
like, oh,
using the
I'm
system.
not doing anything like underhanded with my Medicaid or welfare or anything. But look at the fucking shit. Like the Republicans want to be like, oh, fucking pregnancy can't be covered by Medicaid. Guess what? 50 to 70% of every fucking birth in fucking the South is covered by fucking Medicaid.
Yeah. Also,
Top it off too, even before all of this stuff, America has like the highest infant mortality rate and and women dying in childbirth rate than any of the other industrialized countries.
we're number one.
So like put that in what the Republicans want to do, people who will probably die because of that if it goes through. 100% safe saying that shit. That die because of what the Republicans, because of the Senate healthcare bill, like what they want to do. Like even like that's just one. That's just to me the most clearest example of it. It's like you want to take away funding for like 50 to 70% of the fucking bars south of the Mason-Dixon line. Like people are gonna die. Like this is like people are not gonna have like the money cover like sure babies or fucking like postnatal problems or prenatal fucking Jesus Christ. Like if the Republicans aren't covering fucking the actual birth, like they're not gonna be covering fucking prenatal care at all.
Yeah, so actually, saying you brought up that topic, I was wanting to go a little bit more into it because this is a funny thing I find with Republicans, and I don't understand why, is they think it's ridiculous for husbands to get I think it's pregnancy leave. I'm not exact. Is it maternity leave? Is that the proper term? Pretty much leave due to pregnancy,
Yes.
and I don't understand why. I don't understand why that's so ridiculous, personally. for a husband to have.
I mean, it's
a
not.
wife.
It's like like
Takes
having
two
a
to tango.
newborn's hard.
Yeah, like taking two to it takes two to tango and takes two to fucking make a kid. And I'm pretty sure the wife is gonna or the girlfriend depending is going to need assistance in certain areas.
By the way, I released a new fucking those sons of bitches.
Oh,
It's always
also,
somebody releasing something when I'm doing a thing. Also, Having a
yeah.
Bag did a fucking video. Those assholes.
So you want
Don't
to
go watch that shit. Like, well, or do go watch it. Like, it's better than this. I'll be honest. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie to my audience.
Well, what you can't see is I should put a little sign on my icon saying when to go watch TFS. But no,
Fair. It is 8:30. We have been doing this for 90 minutes, and that's how long I want to keep these. So, technically, this is the end of the show, folks. And it's not because of Team 4-Star and Having the Bag. Watch those. Oh god, that also I just noticed now they're doing fucking Transform. Fuck. That reminds me, I gotta see that tomorrow.
have fun.
I'm not.
And see, look, folks. Now we're putting back on our acts.
I'm not. This is no act skull. I can feel it. I can feel it already.
See how
the despair and angst of future Matt sitting in an IMAX theater, thinking about how he wasted $40 fucking on 2 fucking tickets and concessions.
It's gonna be funny when you come back.
For this fucking piece of shit.
It's gonna be hilarious when you come back tomorrow and you're actually at your keyboard and you're like, I don't know how to break this because you actually Transformers 5 turned out to be the best film you've seen this entire year.
No, Guardians of the Galaxy 2 came out this fucking year.
What if it beats that, Matt? What if it beats it?
What if it cures cancer? What if fucking unicorns come dancing out of the screen? Let's talk about some other fantastical bullshit that won't happen during that fucking screen in Skull.
Okay, what if the entire
What if Megan Fox gives me a hand job with her weird fucked up thumbs? Have you ever seen Megan Fox's thumbs? They're weird.
No, I haven't.
She's got fucked up thumbs.
Well, I haven't really seen Megan Fox, to be honest. Even though I've seen the fucking first 2 Transformers films.
Look, you've seen Megan Fox. She's basically every hot chick ever. Every white hot chick. Just change the hair color and the eye color, occasionally. Boom, you got her.
So Matt, even though we know the political fucking leanings of Michael Bay pretty much, what
Megan Fox is doing right now?
What if the film was nothing but them just riffing on fucking Trump and having the Transformers take on Trump?
It's fucking Knights of the Round bullshit.
I know, but what if they were taking on Trump?
They're not taking on Trump.
But what if they did?
They're not.
See, folks, he can't even just admit okay, I'm
not even This is like you telling me Matt, what if Suicide Squad wasn't a completely dumb movie and they didn't have Harley Quinn on a fucking team to fight Superman?
Yeah, to be honest, that is pretty fucking retarded.
Seriously, I could you know what? I know the guy who wrote it is an actual good director and screenwriter and stuff, but I think it's safe to say I could have wrote a better screenplay in 6 fucking weeks than he did. First and foremost, I would not have mentioned Superman at all. I would have set the entirety of Suicide Squad around the fact that Lex Luthor crippled the United States government by blowing up fucking Congress. That would be the entire fucking purpose of fucking Task Force X, aka the Suicide Squad existed. The American government is crippled. It may never recover. You need a fucking task force of people to keep the weakened country safe. Boom. That's how you fucking do it. It's easier to bullshit a fucking reason why Harley Quinn would be on that version of the team than Why is the bitch who can only swing a baseball bat here? I thought this team was here in case Superman was bad. What is she doing here?
Sorry, I just pictured Harley Quinn. Just
Is she here? Is she here to get killed by Superman? Like, just distract him for a second?
I don't even think it would be a second. I think he would be flying at the speed of fucking sound, and it would hit her while hitting someone else, and she would.
Let's be honest. Superman could kill fucking Captain Boomerang. Like Captain Boomerang, Killer Shark, and Harley Quinn in one fucking punch, probably.
Just all of them lined up, and he swings the fist and just hits all three of them.
He really probably could. Like, the only fuckers on the team who could stand up to him is Katana, because she's got a magic sword, and fucking Deadshot, because you can give him a kryptonite bullet.
To be honest, the only reason why Superman can't just pretty much outright murder the fuck out of Batman's because of how much fucking plot armor he has from the fans.
Yeah, because everybody loves Batman. He's his plot, like Batman's plot armor is made out of solidified, calcified fucking fan jizz.
I was gonna more go with it. It is literally made out of just Gundams.
Gundam's made out of jizz, and also again, Gundam. Like, this is why I'm gonna start sending you Zaku porn, Skull. Keep talking weird about the Gundams. And there is Zaku porn. There's a disturbing amount of it.
Well, Zaku girls are saying, so I would not be
surprised. Has Gundam ever done Kiss Players type shit?
What the fuck's Kiss Players?
That's okay. I know I said I was going to end this like 6 minutes ago, but I have to explain Kiss Players because this is the most fucked up shit ever, and it works because it's Transformers. So Kiss Players is in an alternate universe of Transformers where the Autobots are like, the humans mistrust us, so what we need to do is we need to get three prepubescent girls and 3 little tiny Transformers and start a pop idol group.
You know, the funny part is that's Gundam would say that's too silly, but that's pretty.
And there's so much implied rape in the comic. There's a really disturbing fucking panel of Megatron with a penis for a tongue. I am not even making that up. There's literally a panel from a comic where Megatron has a penis for a tongue. That is a thing that somebody got paid money to draw.
So
it wasn't fan fiction. It wasn't some Rule 34 fucking bullshit. This was legitimately sold in fucking stores to people who presumably like Transformers and like seeing them having dicks for fucking tongues, getting ready to eat a little girl. Also, yeah, Megatron eats people in the Kiss Player universe. If you thought the fucking Kiss Player, like I was going to set up like, oh, Kiss Player is a lot like SD Gundam. It's all lighthearted and like, no, fucking Kiss Player's darker than the actual Gundam, than the actual fucking Transformers shit.
So, 2 things. First off, no, Gundam does not have anything like that. That would be qualified as too silly for its fan base or its fucking any of the Gundam.
Skull. SD Gundam and G Gundam.
I know.
G Gundam had a fucking goddamn windmill Gundam. Like, fuck those pretentious asshole Gundam fans.
I know, but G Gundam is the black horse of the group. It's the one that no one ever counts.
Is it because it's good?
It's not serious enough, and it's there, and it doesn't count because it's super robot.
Oh yeah, because Hero is such a great character because, you know, the fact that seriousness is his only character trait is just he is.
But to quickly point out 2 things. One, this entire Kiss setup sounds right up Macross's alley. It really does. So wrong gun.
Well, that's the whole Macross franchise. Skull is like pop idols.
Yeah,
control the universe.
And again, yeah, that sounds right up Macross's story. And also going back,
I'm just the worst at ending the show.
going back to Transformers 5 real quick. So, Matt, would that qualify as Michael Bay being too much of a Transformers fan if he actually knew about that and actually referenced it within Transformers 5 of Megatron having a dick for a tongue?
I'll be honest. I'm not gonna lie to you. If Megatron has a dick for no, he can't have a dick for a tongue. He doesn't even have a mouth in these movies.
No. What were you gonna say? Come on. Because
No, Skull. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what I was going to say because he doesn't have a mouth in the movie, so it couldn't happen. And I will end this. See you guys next time. So no more questions can be asked. Bye bye.